What's up, guys? It's Thursday, May 5th, 6th, 2024. We're at the Bitcoin block height of 846,866, I believe. TikTok next block. I was doing some thinking about our president in sleep, Brandon, and also Bitcoin. So I want to talk about those two things real quick. I still think that there will not be an election. I believe they're going to do some kind of massive catastrophe to make sure there's not an election. Okay, that's my number one thing. My number two prediction is they're going to replace Brandon at the DNC in August. They're going to have him gracefully bow out and say, oh, you know, he's going to decide to retire because of this, that, and the third. Because if you look at this man, it's clear as day. I mean, I don't care who you are. You could be a Democrat. You could be a leftist, progressive, you know, the staunchest, hardcore leftist you can. You cannot sit here and objectively say, and a lot of people are not objective, obviously, on that side or the other side, and objectively say that this guy is with us 100%. He's just not, man. And I know you hate Trump, the people on the left and stuff like that. But again, it's not about Trump. It's about our country. And this man is not cognitively able to do the job. He hasn't been for the last 4 years. And we cannot, whoever his handlers are, keep continuing to destroy our country on a daily basis. Do I feel for him? I do a little bit, a tiny bit. Maybe out of 100%, I feel 1% bad for him just because he doesn't know what's going on. It's obvious. If anybody has an old grandfather or great grandfather or a mother, dad, uncle, whatever that's been through that, you know, because I had somebody that went through that. My grandfather did. It's not a good thing, man. You know, and it just brings me back when I see this man, and they got him doing all this stuff, man. He's traveling all over the world, and you got him speaking, and you know they're shooting him up with a bunch of stuff. It's just terrible, man. You know what I mean? But then again, he put it on himself because he's not the best guy in the world. So the other 99%, I don't feel bad for him. But the 1%, me just being a human being, I care about people. And he's going to be the one that has to, when he goes on the other side, to deal with what he has to deal with. But it's a gift and a curse, the things that we have. I heard a quote, and if I find it, I'll leave it in the comments section. The guy says, the universe or God gives you goggles, these kind of universal goggles or something like that. And he says, there's only two rules to them. Once you see something, I believe he said, once you see something, you can't unsee it. You just know. And that's the power of being able to see things other people don't. I think that's the first one. And the second one is, you cannot make anybody else see what you see. Yeah. So, and I feel that way since about 2020 with gold, silver, Bitcoin, politics, the mainstream media, the lamestream media, all this stuff. You know what I mean? It's just, once you see stuff, you just can't unsee it. And again, you just cannot make people see it. And I have more friends and family on the left side of the aisle that are just absolutely brainwashed. And there's nothing I can say or do, unfortunately, to change their mind. So, God bless this country. God bless Joe Biden. I really mean that. Again, I don't like him. I don't like what he's done to this country. But as a human being and as a American and stuff like that, I do. Man, I wish they wouldn't keep doing this to this man. I mean that. Again, you know how I feel about him. So I want to talk to you about Bitcoin real quick. So Bitcoin, I made a video yesterday talking about, I believe the price is going to skyrocket. It is, guys. It is. It's getting ready to take off. But why hasn't it, right? And I've been searching high and low today for that because I didn't have my car. My car was at the shop today, and I'm gonna be working late tonight. But I'm like, what is going on? All these, I'm looking at BlackRock. I'm looking at Grayscale. Remember Grayscale was selling all their Bitcoin off? Now, some days they have zeros and sell a little bit, but for the most part, last 6 weeks or so, they've been buying Bitcoin. Now, again, I think probably tomorrow when the numbers come out, or the next day, BlackRock, IBIT, will have over 300,000 Bitcoin. Grayscale's been buying. All these ETFs have been buying. big time. So it's like, why is the price not going up? I looked for Bitcoin University, Matthew Cratter, to tell me a little something. He talked about the price today, how it's you know, how the price is set, and I learned a little something off that. If you ever checked him out, check him out. And then I've been doing some research, and what I found from a couple of different sources is they're buying, BlackRock are buying straight from the miners, because that's where the Bitcoin is sold from. It's only sold from one place, originally sold from one place, and that's the miners. And then the miners sell it to the exchanges, and the exchanges sell it to us, and so on and so forth, right? But BlackRock and these ETFs, they own quite a bit of the percentages of these miners, so they're getting them straight from the miners. But they're running out too, you know. Even though they're getting a Bitcoin, these ETFs are buying, you know, 20, 30 times the amount that is being made today. It's only 450, guys. Remember the halving came. It went from 900 to 450. And you got people like us with diamond hands that are not selling. And then you have the regular exchanges that are getting low. But then you have the OTC desks, the over-the-counter desks that have been selling too. And that's not going to count against the exchanges. And it's not going to count against the price of Bitcoin because it goes by the exchange price, right? So the OTC desks, they can be selling them for 80,000, 85,000, you know what I mean, per Bitcoin, but nobody would know because that's not hurting or changing the supply or demand or the price of what's going on in the exchanges. But that's going to run out too, right? And the buying is not slowed down. People are buying left and right. So here's what I think is going to happen. I think in the next 90 days, mark my words on this. So it's June 6th. So June, July, August, September. By September 6th, I believe we'll be over 100,000. You know, I believe that. If I had to put some money on it, I would. Now, again, I don't have a crystal ball or nothing like that, but at the rate that they're buying it, we're talking about, guys, we're talking about not a scarce asset, not a very scarce asset. We're talking about an absolute finality of asset that they can't make anymore. They can't say, oh, well, today let's make us 6,000 Bitcoin. They can't do that. The only place they can get it from is people like me or you, the OTC desk or the exchanges or whatever. And I'm not selling mine. I know you're not selling yours. So I think the price is going to run up. Now, what's going to happen when the price runs up? Are people still going to have diamond hands? I think most people will. But some people are going to look at the short term and they're going to sell for the fiat. And that's going to be unfortunate because I'm going to say something to you, man. This is the year 2024 of our Lord, and I'm 49 years old. And as much as I would love to buy a big mansion and have all these fancy cars and all these fancy things and stuff like that, that is not the reason I'm buying Bitcoin. I have a family, grandkids, kids and grandkids and great-grandkids are not born yet, that are not even born yet, generations. And I know what I have in Bitcoin. Now, some of you may know a little bit, some of you may not. But you have, whether you know this or not, okay? You have the most finality of scarcity, of supply, and the most precious monetary asset that man or the world has ever seen. That's what you have in your Satoshis. I don't care how many Satoshis you have. They can't make any more of your Satoshis. There's only 2.1 quadrillion of them that will ever be made for 8 billion people. And again, these companies own so much, you will never be able to get your fair share of 245,000. That's what Bitcoin per person says. You're not going to be able to get that spread out evenly throughout the world. Because remember, guys, Satoshis and Bitcoin is not just money. It is money. It's not just scarce or finite money. The United States has the US dollar. Other countries have their dollars. Bitcoin and Satoshis are for the world. It's the money of the internet, okay? And we've never had anything like this. It is a technology that combines the internet and cryptography that we've never ever had seen like anything like this before, right? it combines computing power and physical power together, because you have to physically do things and put numbers into a computer and stuff like that to get the computations out digitally in the digital form of Bitcoin. Man, every time I think about it, I just cannot believe how lucky I am to be on this timeline, man. And you are too. You may not know that, but study Bitcoin, study Satoshis. So what do you do? What do you do when the price runs up? I can't tell you what to do with your money, man. I can't. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I don't have my Satoshis on cold storage. I don't have them on a hot wallet. I do have a hot wallet that I have, a couple of hot wallets that I have a few Satoshis on there just to mess around and give away and stuff like that, and to accept payments. And speaking of that, if you want to donate to the channel, go ahead. You can do that with, I would prefer doing it with Satoshis or Cash App or whatever you want to do. And if you can't, don't worry about it. But the main thing is you have to get a cold storage, okay? A cold storage device. I would suggest to get a cold card. Cold card is the best. You can get a Blockstream Jade, that's cheaper. Get a Bitcoin only cold card. Bitcoin only, excuse me, cold storage. And cold means it's not on the internet. Hot wallet means it's on the internet, like the Moon or the Satoshi Bitcoin Lightning wallet. But what am I gonna do? I got mine deep in the freezer, man. Deep in cold storage. It's not coming out. It's not for me. It's not for me. You know what I mean? Am I gonna use it to get some things that I want? Sure. When the time comes, maybe 10, 15 years from now, I'm gonna loan out some of my Satoshis to get some fiat back so I can buy some things that I need, but I'll never sell them. Never. Why? If you owned a piece of New York City, would you sell it? Of course not. You may lease it out, or you may borrow against your property, your land or something like that, but you're not gonna sell it. For what? They don't make any more land in New York City, do they? Or Malibu, California, or on the coast of Florida or Costa Rica or something like that. That's what you have in Bitcoin, but in a digital sense and in a much, much better way. So I can't tell you what to do with your money. I can't. But I'm telling you, for me personally, I'm never gonna sell, ever, ever, ever. I buy Satoshis every single day, multiple times a day, and I don't care what the price is. Today, you can get 1,400 plus Satoshis for $1. If Bitcoin goes up to $100,000, minus the fees, Bitcoin goes up to $100,000, you can get 100 Satoshis for $1. If it goes up to 250,000 Satoshis, you can get 250,000 per Bitcoin, you can get 400 Satoshis for $1. If it goes up to 1,000,000 Satoshis, you can get $1 million, excuse me. If the price goes up to $1 million, you can still get for $1. If Bitcoin is $1 million, you still can get 100 Satoshis for $1. What do they say about the dollar? Money, 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 money. Dollar's pretty powerful, man, if it can do that. Because I know, and you know, if you studied, that Satoshi is much, much more valuable and scarce than a US dollar. And I don't care what the price is. I'm gonna buy, man, at $100 million of Bitcoin. That's when we'll have $1 parity to one Satoshi. And until that day, I'm gonna be buying. And even that day, I'll still be buying. But all I know is one thing's for sure and two things for certain. They can print as many dollars as they want, but they can never, ever, ever print Satoshis. That's what they can't do. And since they can't do that, and you can't extend your life, you can't get, 15 or 20 years on your life or get another life or something like that unless you believe in reincarnation or whatever. You only got one. You got one life, man. And it's finite. And there's only one thing in this world that's finite like your life. And that's why I put my money into that thing. And you guys already know what it is. And say it with me. It's the best way to save. And for me, the only way to save. And that's Bitcoin. I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.